So there will be lots of videos on the channel about tanks, trudging, tinnies and trucks. So just a quick chat about modelling, really, about why modelling is important. Modelling, scale modelling for many is a hobby, a hobby enjoyed by many. And let's be honest, it's a ridiculous hobby. We stick bits of plastic together and then get annoyed when the plastic doesn't stick together. But a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it whilst enjoying the odd tinny. I've got a tasty, nutritious Abbott, which is 5%. Those of you that have sat my CPC courses will know that we judge people based on the quality of the alcohol they drink. If I said that this was a 1% beer, that this was a ethically sourced vegan peace beer at 1%, you'd be like, but this is a 5% man's beer. So a lot of people take the mick out of modelling. They think it's a ridiculous hobby. Oh, look at him, he could be kicking a bag of wind around the field instead. Whatever your hobby is, whatever you enjoy doing, do it. Don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks. Because if you enjoy it, go and do it. If you want to stick bits of plastic together, go and do it. If you want to sit by a riverbank catching fish, go and do it. If you want to be a ballet dancer, go and do it. Whatever makes you happy. And people that don't have a hobby will take the piss out of somebody that does. Blowing out somebody else's candle doesn't make yours brighter. Now, it's not one of my earliest memories, but one of my happiest memories is coming home from school, and my old man had got a Harrier, I think it was a Harrier GR7. I'll put a picture up on the video of what it was. It was an Airfix starter set, 172 Harrier. I think it was a GR7. I'm showing my age now. I can't remember if GR7 ever existed in Harrier form. I'm sure it was one of them. Anyway, and he said, tidy this up, you can have it. Tidy your bedroom, you can have it. So obviously I went straight upstairs and tidied my bedroom up. I put my pants in alphabetical order. I put my socks in colour order that were first discovered by man. That bedroom was immaculate. And I went into the utility room on the old pasting table around the back, and my old man was building a Tamiya Jagdtiger 135 scale, and I sat next to him and I built a Harrier kit. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Monty Python's Life of Brian came on the radio and we laughed, and I built Tamiya Airfix Harrier, and he built his Jagdtiger. This is my son's Tiger 1. It's an Airfix 172, and he built this completely on his own. We've done many projects together over the years, but he did this completely on his own. I came down one morning and he built it, painted it completely on his own. Now, admittedly, it's been in his bedroom for a bit. It's been through the walls, so the barrel snapped off. But for his age, it's bang on. I'll be proud of that. I'm pretty sure the Tiger Museum will have it for Tank Day. Shameless plug. But modelling for adults, it's a way of escaping for a little bit. Now, people always think, oh, you shouldn't escape from life, blah, 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 blah. But whilst my son was building this, he wasn't thinking about anything else. He was just sticking plastic together, enjoying it and loving it. And that is what modelling should be. Doesn't matter if you're XYZ years old, it's just enjoyable. It's just something to do. Modern life gets us so that I don't want to get into it, but modern life gets you so that it's just work, 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 work. Go home, have tea, work, 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 work. And life shouldn't be like that. You should be able to have time for hobbies. People always take the mick out of people with hobbies. Like you'll see somebody online that's collected, I don't know, every single spoon ever made in France. And people go, oh, look at him, he's proper sad. But he's got the time, he's got the money, and he's got the space for his spoon collection. Which is why I think modelling is an important escape from the horrors of the world. And there's big people out there going, oh, the life, the world isn't that bad. Yeah, and I bet you've got a Bentley in the drive. And I bet your house is paid off. I've got an absolute bag of shit in the drive. I live in a rented house. So being able to escape for a little bit, because whilst you're modelling, you're thinking about what it is in front of you that you're building. Normally falling out with it. And that's that. What I've got here is Airfix's ferret. Just take these off. Airfix's ferret with a conversion kit. So all of my happiest memories of modelling with my dad, comparing builds and talking about builds. And even now, I've just come back from IPMS Telford, International Plastic Modelling Society. Is it modelling show? Telford Scale Model World. Me and my dad have always gone, and it's really nice now that I can go with my son. So it's granddad, dad, son. It's just nice. Anyway, I digress. What I've got here is Airfix's ferret in 135 scale, but it's built, and if I can tip it over sideways without everything falling off like that. I really ought to glue them on, really. They're just bed rolls anyway. Modern bed rolls. What I've got, if I can get to focus, there we go. Oh. Go on, Steve Jobs. Do your work. Anyway, 135 scale Airfix ferret, and it's got the Scorpion Miniatures conversion kit for the Malaya collar, because my grandfather served with the Royal Lincolnshire Regiment in Malaya, and I've got a photo of him sat on the front of his ferret, which I will put up now if I remember. If not, I'll do it at some point, but anyway, of him sat on the front of a ferret with the number plate of 38BA41. When I was a kid, if I'm perfectly honest, I didn't even know that my granddad was in the army. He whipped out some photos one day and said, I was in the army, but to hit, back to 8-year-old me, he was just granddad. Oh, you were in the army, granddad? Don't talk daft. He just looked a little bit hurt and laughed it off. But after he passed away, I discovered that he served in the Royal Lincolnshire Regiment during his national service. I think, I forget which, I think that's pre-war, because that's just Egypt and Lincolnshire, if I can get it to focus. Focus your swine, there we go. So Egypt and Lincolnshire, and then post-war it became the Royal Lincolnshire Regiment. Focus, there we go. Start trying to get me to pay attention at school. Anyway, Egypt, Royal Lincolnshire Regiment. So he served the Royal Lincolns in Malaya, and there's a photo of him, like I say, sat on top of a ferret, 38BA41. I searched for this ferret high and low, and I could not find any information of it whatsoever. There was no other photos of it. If you search something called the Merlin Archive, so that's a register of all vehicles that have been in the British Army, you can type in regs and it gives you the vehicle history, nothing whatsoever. I sort of gave up hope, really, gave up. I was in a ferret owners club page on Facebook. I've been in it for a number of years, nothing. And then I was sat there one day and a member, I'm not going to discuss names or anything like that because it's the internet. A member popped up and says, I've got my dad's ferret. The number plate on it at the minute is this, however it is 38BA41. and I was over the moon that it still existed, that whatever it was that he trundled around Malaya in still existed. I managed to find it, and it's still it still goes to shows. I think it's been to Goodwood Festival of Speed and some other shows down south, and it's still there. So I decided to build, when Airfix said they were building a ferret kit, I'd always wanted to build a ferret. I think Accurate Armour, who are now gone Udders Up, did one. But Airfix said they were going to build a ferret, and I wanted to do one. So I bought the additional add-ons from, I think it was Scorpion Miniatures, to build this one. I mean, it's not accurate, it's not perfect, but for me it is. And whilst I was building this, I was able to escape from just life for a little bit. Whilst I was concentrating on this, I wasn't worrying about anything else. It's just an escape, and it's an enjoyable thing. And then when it's in my display cabinet, I just like looking at it. It's nice. I've got lots of stuff in my cabinet. I really should glue those on, but anyway. Got the markings on it. Commonwealth vehicle plate. It's got the little counterweight down the bottom, because in Malaya they added this extra collar between. Don't see that very well, but I had it focusing. But turret and vehicle. This turret normally just sits directly on the vehicle. This is an extra armour collar built in Malaya, so that it could fire over the top of the vehicle in front, over the large elephant grass. When it came back from Malaya, this collar was removed. And there's not many of them. I think there was only 7 or 8 Daimler ferrets built with this collar. And it just gave me a little bit of an escape. Local antiques market had a Royal Lincolnshire Regiment cap badge. So that sits on a nice wooden plinth. And then I think this came from a shop in Mansfield, the People's Republic of Mansfield. It's a pre-war or a wartime Lincolnshire Regiment cap badge. So I just keep them on there. And then at the bottom, so I've got a ferret honouring my grandfather, who is it's somebody who I look up to, really. I've always looked up to him, so I look up to him. And then at the bottom, I have a sprig of heather from my grandmother's garden. They're now both no longer with us, but this sits in my display cabinet. I've got lots of other stuff in my display cabinet, but it's just nice to escape from the world for a little bit and stick plastic to other bits of plastic. And I think it's important that we get our children, our grandchildren involved in modelling, because not only is it sticking plastic to plastic, it's fine motor skills, it's the painting, it's the putting it together, it's working on your motor skills, and then learning about engineering, history, and even learning about chemistry, learning how this glue works by melting the plastic and making it stick back together again. So there's lots of different things that can be learned by modelling. Whenever I build something, I like to have something in mind, research it, have a certain period in history, and then have that in my cabinet. Lots of people out there judge you and say, I think you're sad, I think you need to find a missus, blah blah blah. I've got a missus, I've got 2 lovely children that I love dearly, and hopefully they carry on with their love of modelling, and I hope they do. So that's that. I'm going to polish the rest of this off now. So I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hope you have a lovely week, month, whatever. I'm not your dad. But if you want to get into modelling, have a look on a website called ScaleMates. If you've got a subject matter in mind, it will tell you, for instance, Airfix Ferret, it will tell you what year it was built, as in the kit was built, what other companies make that kit, and all the information that you need, what colours you need, paints and all that. And I should probably say finish by saying, I always build something called the Rule of Cool. Were ferret crewmen issued with lesser Rs? I don't know. Do I really care? No. I've put it on there because I like it. Don't let anybody be a rivet counter, because there will be. Oh, well, I think you'll find that ferrets were issued with the Sterling submachine gun. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I like it. it sits in my cabinet and it reminds me of my grandfather. So, yeah. Like, subscribe, share, or whatever. I'm not your dad. Thank you very much. See you, love you, bye.